Many thanks for joining us at this time. Now details of the news. President Bola Tinubu has sent condolences to the family of Mrs. Bukola Oyebola, Nigeria's first female minister of cabinet rank. The late Oyebola, a distinguished educationist and diplomat, died at the age of 94. Tinubu, in a statement issued by Bayo Onanuga, a special advisor on information and strategy on Sunday, described Oyebola as a trailblazer and a beacon of inspiration for women in Nigeria. The statement read in part as the nation's first female minister of cabinet rank, she broke barriers and paved the way for countless women to aspire and achieve leadership roles in the country. Tinubu remarked, emphasizing a pioneering spirit. According to the president, Oyebola, who served as the Minister of National Planning from 1979 to 1983, made significant contribution to national development, while acknowledging her impact on youth development, empowerment, and the promotion of arts and culture. President Tinubu noted that Oyebola's effort laid a foundation for Nigeria's sustainable growth and progress. Mrs. Oyebola's unwavering commitment to youth development, empowerment, and the promotion of arts and culture has left an indelible mark on our nation. Her legacy will continue to inspire generations, particularly in the creative industry, where her impact remains deeply felt, the statement read. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, has announced that going forward, no contractor will be mobilized without working on site for a minimum of 30 days and performing permanent work. Umahi made the statement while inspecting the rehabilitation of the Abuja-Kaduna-Kano Dual Carriageway Section 1 Abuja-Kaduna Road Project. Our correspondent Galojo completes the story.
Recall that the road project, which was initially handled by Julius Berger, was revoked and reassigned to InfoQuest International due to disagreements. The Minister of Works, while on inspection of the road, explained that the new policy was designed to ensure that contractors demonstrated their commitment to the project before receiving any financial support. According to the minister, any contractor bidding for a project should always show their financial capacity to execute the work.
Procurement Act says that the client on signing contract may pay mobilization of 30%. May pay, not shall pay or must pay. And so we now, had to tone up that, clause of the procurement and say, look, it's not compulsory that we pay mobilization. So if you have capacity at the time of bidding, you have to, express financial, capacity. And it's part of the assessment, commercial bid. And so when you say, look, you have money that you can start, we want you to start. So no one in the Ministry of Works will be paying mobilization without first being on site for a minimum of 30 days doing active work like this.
Umahi, who expressed satisfaction with the speed of work, stressed that the contractor has not been paid a kobo but has been working on site, noting that this is the new policy of the Ministry of Works. He lauded the InfoQuest for exceeding the 30-day requirement and announced that they will now apply for the 30% mobilization. In response, the managing director of the company expressed gratitude to the Ministry of Works for the trust placed on the company. He assured that InfoQuest has worked diligently over the past 3 months and will continue to deliver the best quality work on time. Some of the road users expressed satisfaction with the job while they called for the speedy completion of the project.
Well, it's a statement cast on stone by middle of May. We have too many projects ready for commissioning. That's, since you asked Coastal Highway, Section 1, Lagos Badagry, Lagos Calabar, we're going to have 20 kilometers fully completed in Section 1.
The Honorable Minister told me, mobilize to site, and if you need money, I'm ready to give you my own personal money. From there, I knew the big challenge which the Honorable Minister is taking on his shoulder. Based on that, I took this challenge and we start work for the past 3 months, and you can see the result what we have gone so far. My promise is that I will definitely give the best work, the best quality, and respecting the time fact of this project.
Like for this one, yes, I like what they did. And the other roads, yes, they are okay. They are okay, but let's see 5 years down the line, 8 years down the line, let's see how durable the roads will be for us, because we operate heavy machinery on these roads.
The federal government, the minister noted, had several other projects ready for commissioning across the country. From Abuja, Kunle Ojo, Galaxy TV.
The Lagos State House of Assembly has directed all staff and legislative aides to work remotely until further notice due to ongoing leadership crises in the legislative arm. The directive was issued on Sunday by the acting clerk of the Assembly, Babatunde Abubakar, in a memo addressed to all staff. The move, according to the memo titled Amendment to Remote Work Schedule Arrangement, aims to ensure staff safety and prevent any potential violence stemming from the leadership dispute. To this end, all categories of staff at the Assembly, LASCAM and legislative aides are requested to work remotely from home until further notice, the memo read. It further assured workers of the commitment of new Speaker Mojisola Miranda to their safety and the peaceful resolution of the crisis. The Assembly has been engulfed in turmoil following removal of former Speaker Mudashiru Obasa and ex-clerk Olalekan Nofeko by 32 lawmakers on January 13, 2025. Now to other stories, Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has directed the chairman of 23 local government council area of the state to hand over to the head of local government councils. Governor Fubara made the disclosure in a state broadcast at 6 p.m. on Sunday while reacting to Friday's Supreme Court judgment. Our correspondent Dele Fasson completes the story.
The broadcast by the Rivers State Governor is coming on the heels of the Supreme Court judgment which sacked the 23 local government chairmen, reinstating the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Martin Amewule, and 27 others low to the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, as well as stopping the monthly allocation to the local government councils. Speaking on the judgment, Governor Fubara said his legal team is studying the judgment as he directs council chairmen to hand over to heads of the various local government.
I've had a meeting with my team of lawyers and they have assured me that the certified true copy of the judgment may be available to them by Friday, the 7th March of 2025. I assure you that upon the receipt of certified judgment, we shall study the ramification and implement them without reservation to move the state forward. Furthermore, given the outlawing of caretaker arrangements in the local government system, I hereby direct
head of local government administration
to immediately take over the administration.
He charged the people of the state to remain calm and peaceful despite the trying times as he works towards the development of the state.
Although our dear state seems to be back in trying time, I urge everyone to remain calm and peacefully go about with their legitimate daily activity as we continue to do everything in our power to advance our responsibility to the citizen. Thank you and may God bless Rivers State.
From Rivers State, Dele Fasson reporting for Galaxy TV News.
Moving on to other stories, the Industrial Training Fund, ITF, has initiated the process of enrolling the subsequent cohort of artisan trainees for the second phase of a Skill Up Artisan program known as the SUPA program. According to a statement by the Director General of ITF, Dr. Oluwatoyin Afizogo, this development follows the successful conclusion of the initial phase of the program, which was the SUPA Foundation. The statement emphasized that throughout its 54-year history, the Skill Up Artisan program of the ITF stands out as its most meticulously planned and impactful initiative aimed at directly addressing the shortage of skilled labor in Nigerian industries. It explains that SUPA seeks to unite existing and prospective artisans in Nigeria by harnessing technology to set skill levels, provide training to enhance these artisan skills, expose them to international certification examination, and ensure their integration into the real economy through either direct employment or placement in overseas positions. The Director General ITF says these has been entrusted with executing this program by leveraging its extensive institutional and infrastructural capabilities, and no effort has been spared in fulfilling this mandate. Dr. Ogun elucidated that SUPAT places a strong emphasis on the technical and entrepreneurial training of artisans, coupled with exposure to certification examinations conducted by international awarding bodies. The Director General indicated that as ITF embarks on the next phase, several innovative measures will be implemented to streamline the enrollment process for trainees, facilitate the payment procedures for all dues owed to them, and training centers under the program. Additionally, internal restructuring within ITF department is underway to provide institutional and operational support for the implementation of this program announcement. You're still on to the news on Galaxy TV. Coming up next. NDLA arrested 42-year-old Angolan businessman at the Mallam Aminu Kano International Airport for attempting to traffic a large consignment of cocaine which he invested to Istanbul, Turkey. Details of that and more coming up to the break. Do stay with us. We are glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Galaxy TV News. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. Now to the story teased earlier. Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) have arrested the 42-year-old Angolan businessman Mbala Daju Abuba at the Mallam Aminu Kano International Airport, Makia, Kano, for attempting to traffic a large consignment of cocaine which he ingested to Istanbul, Turkey. Abuba, who is from the Zaire province in Angola, was arrested on Tuesday, 25th February 2025 at the screening point of the Kano airport while trying to board Egypt Air flight to MS-880 to Istanbul, Turkey via Cairo. After his body scan result confirmed the ingested illicit drug, he was thereafter placed under excretion observation, during which he expelled 120 pellets of cocaine weighing 1.829 kg in 7 excretions. In its statement, the suspect claimed he was into the business of township delivery service in Angola before delving into the illicit drug trade. A similar attempt by an auto spare parts dealer to send 2 parcels of 1.10 kg cocaine concealed in vehicle propellers to Angola through the export shed of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, was thwarted by NDLEA operatives who arrested him on Monday, 24th February, following credible intelligence. During an interview with the suspect, he claimed that he is a businessman selling auto parts in Aspanda Trade Fair Complex, Ojo area of Lagos. In Delta State, NDLEA operatives supported by the military on Thursday stormed the fort in Inam Abiorogun community, Dokwa West local government area, where they destroyed over 50,000 kg cannabis on the 20-hectare farmland. 5 suspects arrested during the raid include Augustine Subaru, Ukobama Chuku, Odalon Emmanuel, Oswaba Macaulay, and Itoje Safe. In another development in the Delta, and the earlier operatives on Friday intercepted a Mercedes-Benz truck along Abra-Kaurogun Road. A search of the truck led to the recovery of 101 bags of skunk with a total weight of 1,111 kilograms, among others. Still on security, the Anambra State Police Command says it has busted a criminal gang hideout along Otoko community of the state. The command, in a statement by spokesperson Tochukwu Ikenga made available to newsmen, said operatives attached to the Special Anti-Cultism Squad stormed the criminal hideout and arrested 3 male suspects. Their operational vehicles and a locally fabricated Beretta pistol. The suspects, who are presently at the police headquarters in Amobia, were said to have been identified as those who attacked and dispossessed the victim of the sum of 254,000 naira, which was withdrawn from his account. All the suspects are to be charged to court, according to the police, while the recovered items will be used as exhibits. Now to North Central Nigeria, gunmen suspected to be armed herders have killed 6 people in a renewed attack in the Ukum local government area of Benue State. The incident happened at Silgumachul Mbakesa Ugbam, a few kilometers from Zaki Biam headquarters of Ukum local government area. A resident from the area who didn't want to be named told newsmen on the phone that 7 dead bodies have been recovered while many others are still missing. It was gathered that some youth in the area had mobilized themselves to chase away cattle that strayed into their farmlands and destroyed their yams. The source said while the youth were going after the cattle, unknown gunmen relayed ambush, opened fire and killed some of the youth. As of Saturday evening, 6 bodies have been discovered. When contacted, the police public relations officer, PPRO Benue Command, CSP Catherine Nanene, said she was yet to get the report from Ukum. Meanwhile, Chairman of Ukum local government area, Jonathan Modi, confirmed the attack. Modi, who earlier said he was on his way to the community, later said he was not in a good frame of mind to grant an interview. The Catholic Bishop of Katsina Ala Diocese has given Governor Ayasin Thali of Benue State 1 week ultimatum to stop the menace of herdsmen attack in the state, urging the governor to reactivate implementation of anti-open grazing law, which seems to be dormant. The paramount ruler and chairman, Benue Council of Traditional Rulers, His Royal Majesty Professor James Ayatse, who spoke in his native dialect, also expressed worries over persistent attacks on Benue people, calling on the governor to take proactive steps to tackle the menace of herdsmen in the state. They both stated these at the St. Margaret's Catholic Church at Chichi in Vandikia local government area, while honoring the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Dr. James Iopo, for his elevation. Governor Ayasin Thali, who spoke in his dialect, stated government was working to contain the persistent attacks and resettle those displaced, calling on Benue residents to increase vigilance and report any suspicious acts to security agencies, just as he donated 2 electric transformers to light up communities, gave scholarships to 30 persons in the community, and the construction of water boreholes across 5 communities.
All of us, allow us to die. It is that serious. What has happened to the anti-grazing law? Where is it? Where is it? Why can't we enforce it? You have the machineries to enforce this law.
Meanwhile, in an interview with Dr. James Iopo, the Permanent Secretary, Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, while thanking God for his life thus far, said the ministry, in collaboration with the State Emergency Management Agency, is doing all it can to bring succor and relief to displaced people pending their return.
Launch Triple Solution Action Plan, which will now direct us how to move this IDP to ancestral home. So these are the joy I am sharing with you as well, that the IDP are met and no longer the same IDP.
The traditional ruler of Barako ancient community in Rivers State, Kadilo Kabari, has called for the implementation of the Ogoni Bill of Rights. The monarch made this demand during the Ulame Gia Tour Festival, which marks the full commencement of a new planting season in Ogoni land. According to a statement he signed and released on Sunday, he also demanded justice for Ogoni people, including compensation for affected communities. The monarch noted that the significant shortening had brought downpour of rain, which traditionally signifies spiritual acceptance of proclamations made, occurred this year as it has in the previous years when these sacred rites was performed in the Baraka Asian community. He also called for resumption of development, including exploration and production at Yomene Well 13 of the Bomo oil fields located at Bowa in the Baraka Asian community. Additionally, he offered community land to host a large-scale gas-powered energy infrastructure or turbine, highlighting Bamako's abundant gas reserve. Youth involvement in criminal activities have been done since time immemorial, with many factors such as unemployment, peer group pressure, lack of parental care, among others, taking the lead as a root cause. To this end, most youth engage in crime under the get-rich-quick syndrome to show their peers their new status, with the society failing to question such wealth. In this report, our correspondent Dele Fasson takes a look at the challenges faced by youth involvement in crime in Nigeria. The report.
According to statistics from the National Repository of Nigeria, NRN, 70% of Nigerian youths engage in one crime or the other. The heads of the Department of Christian Religious Knowledge, Political Studies and an economist from the College of Education in Warri Delta State blame several factors and the federal government for the menace.
Lack of sound educational background, sound education. They don't have sound education. With that, that affected their brain. Then what we call civilization these days of youth, behaving like semi-mad people, taking hard drugs. All this one, they don't know what they do. Lack of good parental upbringing. People who have children, they abandon them here and there, whatever. They don't take care of them. There are some of them doing job. The father is working, the mother is working, the children are there. Then the teachers are not even taking care of the pupils the way they're supposed to do at school.
Majority of the criminality that is being spoken about is not about indigenous South people. Let that be made very, very clear. I've heard about a lot of kidnapping. I've seen a lot of cases, and at the end of the day, if you trace it, they are foreign elements. It's really like from the northern, part of this country. A lot of these herdsmen and whatever are responsible for most of what is happening here. So when they say South, I do not accept that, because that's branding the South. If you go anywhere part of South now, there are people, foreign elements from all over the country are here, and they are the one perpetuating this evil.
Kidnapping is an outgrowth of the high level of corruption that is prevalent in the country today. Both the old and the young, they have this mentality of get rich quick.
On the likely solutions, a student and the Christian Religious Knowledge Head of Department put the blame on the doorstep of peer groups, which parents must address urgently.
In my own opinion, I would say 1, lack of parental upbringing. Secondly, peer pressure. And 3rd, lack of educational background. For example, now, if a child does not have that educational fundamental unit in his life or her life, he may tend to go into kidnapping, he may tend to go into robbery, he may tend to be a public nuisance. In terms of parental upbringing, I advise our parents to be careful with the way they bring up their children. Some, they neglect their children at home, they neglect their children in the hands of some nanny that are not.
Solution to these youth receivements and kidnapping and those, the attitude is the parents who give child to them should really take appropriate care of their children. Even teachers at the school should give sound advice and moral advice, not only academics. That's on that. Then the government should put youth into the appropriate place.
Although most of the blame has been put on the doorstep of poor parental care and peer groups, but government on its part must ensure it provides job and enabling environment, including skill acquisition, affordable to the youths in making them shun crime and criminality. From Delta State, Dele Fasson reporting for Galaxy TV News.
One of the major problems confronting the practice of Nigerian law profession today is that of quackery. This is coming as over 6 fake lawyers were arrested in Delta, Edo and Rivers State in the month of January alone, with Lagos State and several parts of the country having similar stories. In this report, our correspondent Dele Fason takes a look at quackery in the Nigerian law profession and the need for urgent action. The report.
Since the Nigerian Bar Association on October 14, 2014 introduced the use of stamps and seal on legal documents to shake quacks among lawyers in Nigeria, the introduction was seen as a wake-up call, but 10 years after, the reverse is now the case. A senior advocate of Nigeria, Kunle Edun SAN, and some legal practitioners speak on the worrying trend.
The issue of quackery in the legal profession is taking an unfortunate trend because we understand that it's actually prevalent in some branches of the NBA. But I am very happy with respect to the recent incidents that happened in one of our branches in the Udu branch. Within a space of 2 weeks, 2 or 3 persons.
Very disturbing and alarming. And it is unfortunate that we find this too rapid in this period, and we are not taking it lightly at all. We're able to apprehend 2, one at the Udu area, under the Udu branch, and one at Efru, and both facing prosecution. We are ready to testify against them, and it's something that we firmly stand against, and we do everything possible to ensure is reduced. You know, in any society, we have criminal elements, and quacking is not an exception.
You notice that has been a trend in recent times, and in our jurisdiction here, it has also been rearing its head. I know for a fact that in the past 2-3 weeks, not less than 4 or so fake lawyers have been caught, red-handed, and handed over to the police. This is a very dangerous trend because, you know, lawyers are professionals. They're like surgical operators in the field of the law.
Speaking on the way forward, the senior advocate advises Nigerians to be cautious by embracing the NBA website as a guide.
This is an opportunity to advise Nigerians out there, potential clients to lawyers, that if you are doubtful of the competence or you are doubtful of the existence of any lawyer, you can actually go to the NBA website. There is a link there, Know Your Lawyers link. Link up to that particular link, and you'll be able to assess any lawyer duly called to the Nigeria Bar. Any lawyer whose name is not there, then that person probably has not been called to the Nigeria Bar, or you will need to do further.
Sincerity. Quack is a quack. There's some go to the extent of printing the stamp. And there must be a name there. So most times we look at this stamp. If it's fake, we know. That's why we got hold of the one at Efru. So fake thing is the difference between I won't reveal to you, but the difference between the one printed in the business center and the one got it from the MBA.
In ensuring that the law profession takes its rightful place in the Nigerian judicial system, prosecution agencies should take the issue of quackery in the law profession seriously in ensuring that backed eggs are meant to face the full wrath of the law. From Delta State, Dele Fason reporting for Galaxy TV News.
Now it's time to do a reminder of news that made headlines during the week. Tracking the Week is up next.
Welcome to Tracking the Week.
On Monday, President of the Senate Godswill Akpabio emphasized need for a unified approach to tax reform in Nigeria, highlighting that the challenge extends beyond merely passing new laws. Senator Akpabio also declared that 70% of Nigerians are not paying tax despite high expectation from government. Correspondent Kunle Ojo reported that the stakeholders meeting on the proposed tax bill organized by the Senate Committee on Finance brought together stakeholders in the Nigerian economy. Speaking at the opening session of the event, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio stressed the importance of collaboration among federal, state and local government as well as the private sector and civil society to create a tax system that benefits everyone. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy Wale Edun also expressed support for the bill and suggested that coordination between the Senate tax authorities and state officials will be beneficial. Earlier in his remarks, the Chairman Senate Committee on Finance, Senator Sani Musa, emphasized that the key objective of the process is to gather the best perspective from all stakeholders before finalizing the bill. Also on Monday, Dr. Lucky Aiyedatiwa and his deputy Dr. Laide Adilami were inaugurated as the governor and deputy governor of Ondo State for the next 4 years. The chief judge of Ondo State, Justice Olusegun Odushola, performed the ceremony at the Akure Sports Complex. The colorful ceremony, which was witnessed by the immediate family, also had in attendance politicians from across the country. Taking the oath of office as the 7th democratically elected governor of Ondo State, Aiyedatiwa vowed to devote himself to the well-being of the people of the state. He assured the people that nobody will be discriminated against on account of political, cultural, religious, gender or ethnic propensities. The governor acknowledged his predecessor, late Arakunruluwaru Timi Oduayo Akeredolu-san, who worked tirelessly to develop Ondo State and for choosing him as his deputy then. On Tuesday, the Nigerian Senate commenced the probe of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan's conduct during plenary last Thursday by referring the issues of its Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct and Public Petitions. The issue began when Senator Yemi Adaramodu, chairman of the Senate Committee on Media and Publicity, raised a point of order. He expressed concern about misleading media reports regarding the event that unfolded in the Senate last week. Correspondent Kunle Ojo reported that Adaramodu emphasized the need to protect the integrity and future of the Senate. The Senate leader Okpeyemi Bamidele, Minority Leader Abba Moro, and Senator Jimoh Ibrahim, among others, lamented over the conduct displayed by Akpoti-Uduaghan on the fateful day and recommended that the matter be referred to his appropriate organ for further investigation. Also on Tuesday, Senator representing Abia North Orji Uzor Kalu asked Nigeria's former military president Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida IBB to write a second edition of his autobiography, Journey in Service, and mention the name of those who stopped him from declaring Moshood Abiola winner of the June 12 presidential 1993 election. Speaking to journalists in Abuja, Kalu said IBB should name the accomplices to his second-in-command, late General Sani Abacha, and the chairman of the National Election Commission, Humphrey Nwosu, so that Nigerians will know the role they all played so that it would not look as if he lied. For the first time in 32 years, IBB admits in his autobiography, now highly debated book, that MKO Abiola, candidate of the Social Democratic Party SDP, won the annulled election. Correspondent Kunle Ojo reported that Kalu also asked President Bola Tinubu to swear MKO in posthumously, and the speech was allowed to anger the Hall of Fame of former presidents of the country. The former governor of Abia State said he is glad that Babangida's book has finally cleared the misconception that 1966 coup is an Igbo coup, but rather a Nigerian coup coordinated and executed by the military, but erroneously blamed the Igbos in the country. On Wednesday, following allegations levied against the Special Offences and Domestic Violence Court sitting in Ikeja on February 24, 2025 by Olalekan Ojo-san, lead counsel to former Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria Godwin Emefiele on the grounds of bias, as well as an application that the presiding judge, Justice Rahman Oshodi, should recuse himself from the ongoing trial of Emefiele. Emefiele is standing trial for a 19-count charge bordering on receiving gratification and corrupt demands preferred against him by Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC. Oshodi said that the allegation has not been substantiated and lacks merit, citing various instances and predecessors that can be considered as bias. He went further to define bias as an opening of feeling in favor of one side in disputes, and there is not enough evidence for which he should be recused from the case. Finally, the judge advised both parties to agree on a date in May, and it became a back-and-forth argument between Ojo and Oyedepo. Justice Oshodi had to prevail and adjourn to May 26 to 27. Still on Wednesday, the Director General of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, Professor Moji Adeyeye, has called on the National Assembly to expedite on the review of the NAFDAC Act. The call aims at threatening the act for effective performance of the agency. Professor Adeyeye, who gave the charge while briefing State House correspondent at the Presidential Villa, asked that death penalty and life imprisonment be included in the law to serve as deterrent to illicit drug trades and trafficking in the country. The NAFDAC DG lamented deviance of traders who, after much counseling, still engage in the sale of expired and substandard drugs in the country, thereby causing avoidable death of millions of citizens. The NAFDAC boss also responded to questions bordering on closure of medicine shops at the Edbridge Onitsha Anambra State, Aba Abia State and Kano in Kano State. She accused the traders of stocking medicines in wrong, at and unapproved temperatures, adding that the agency will continue to do its best to reduce such illicit practices. Professor Adeyeye, however, said shops that are not indicted in illicit drug trading would be reopened at the end of the exercise. On Thursday, the federal government announced plans to regularize electricity tariff in a bid to address disparities in the current billing system, as well as encourage investment in the power sector. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, made a disclosure in Abuja at the public presentation of the National Integrated Electricity Policy and Nigeria Integrated Resource Plan. Speaking at the public presentation of the National Integrated Electricity Policy and Nigeria Integrated Resource Plan, the minister said the government is considering this option over the slow pace of migration to Band A customers, which he attributed to the reluctance of distribution companies to make the necessary investments. Under the current structure, customers in Band D will enjoy 18 to 17 hours of electricity supply pay 63 naira per kilowatt hour, while those in Band A with only 2 hours more of supply are charged 209 naira per kilowatt hour. Adelabu described this as unfair and stressed the need for regularization of the tariff to create a more balanced and equitable pricing system. According to him, the government is committed to reviewing the existing tariff structure, although he was quick to clarify that the review does not imply an imminent increase in rates. Still on Thursday, impeached Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly Mudashiru Obasa stormed the Assembly Complex. Obasa arrived at the Assembly Complex in the company of some security officials and entered the Speaker's office around 12 noon. Confirming the development, the Chief Press Secretary to the Speaker, Mojisola Miranda, Segun Ajiboye, said Obasa and his team allegedly broke into the Speaker's office. In January, lawmakers from the state had impeached Obasa for gross misappropriation while he was in the United States. Upon his return, Obasa described his impeachment as unconstitutional, arguing that it did not follow due process. Miranda, a former deputy speaker, was sworn in to replace Obasa and got the blessing of the Lagos State Governors Advisory Council, GAC. On Friday, the Supreme Court ordered the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Accountant General of the Federation to stop further releasing financial allocations to Rivers State government with immediate effect. Not only that, the Apex Court further rendered null and void the October 5th local government election held in the state. Correspondent Kulujo reported that the Supreme Court attributed the political crisis in Rivers State to non-adherence to the rule of law and flagrant disobedience to the court orders, saying Fubara's government remains a dictator administration. The Apex Court lambasted the governor for engaging in criminal activities of demolishing the House of Assembly with impunity just to prevent 27 legislators in the House of Assembly from sitting to carry out lawful activities. The Apex Court directed that the order shall be enforced until the Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara stops all his illegal, unlawful and unconstitutional activities. In a judgment delivered by Justice Emmanuel Akomaye Agim, the Supreme Court ordered the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Accountant General of the Federation, to immediately stop releasing monthly allocation to the state. Specifically, the court said that no money shall be released to the state government until a lawful appropriation law is enacted under the Martin Amaewhule leadership. Lastly, on Friday, Lagos State High Court sitting in Ikeja adjourned to March 7 to hear the several applications brought by various counsel in a suit filed by removed Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa. His impeachment on January 13 was as a result of several allegations, including gross misconduct and abuse of office. His deputy, Honorable Mojisola Miranda, was elected and sworn in as the first female Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly. There were 35 lawmakers in attendance in support of Miranda, Miranda. Surprisingly, the council representing the House of Assembly, Femi Falana, initially announced his appearance for the House, but in the council, Abag Mpadiok told the court he was also representing the House and brought an application for a court order acknowledging the change of council. But the presiding judge, Justice Yetunde Pinheiro, ruled that all applications for accelerated hearing will be heard next Friday, March 7. Also, she granted an application of some other lawmakers seeking to be joined the court. After the hearing, Miranda was speaking with reporters. She said that a security detail, which include 12 police officers and 4 DSS operatives, have not been fully restored yet. And that's it on Track in the Week. Now, we move to the international desk for more news.
This is the international news. Israel has blocked the entry of all humanitarian aid into Gaza as it demands Hamas agree to a U.S. plan for a ceasefire extension. The first phase of the ceasefire expired on Saturday. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said Hamas had so far refused to accept a temporary extension under a proposal by Donald Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff. A Hamas spokesman said blocking supplies to Gaza was cheap blackmail and a coup on the ceasefire agreement and urged mediators to intervene. The Palestinian group wants phase 2 of the deal to go ahead as originally negotiated, with the release of hostages and Palestinian prisoners and the withdrawal of Israel forces from Gaza. Pro-Ukraine protests have taken place across the U.S. after Donald Trump and J.D. Vance's angry exchange with Volodymyr Zelensky at the White House. Hundreds of people gathered in New York, Los Angeles, and Boston to express their support for Ukraine after the furious row in the Oval Office. Protesters holding pro-Ukraine signs also lined a road in Wattisfield, Vermont, where Vice President Vance and his family were having a sky holiday. U.S. media reported the family moved to an undisclosed location from their planned ski resort because of the demonstrations. A protest in Wattsfield against the Trump-Vance administration had been organized earlier in the week before the U.S. president and vice president's clash with Zelensky, but many signs referenced the row and Russia's war with Ukraine. Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer sought to wrestle control of negotiations over the Russia-Ukraine war away from the U.S. on Sunday, hosting dozens of European leaders and outlining a pathway towards peace on a pivotal day of diplomacy in London. Starmer is hosting a summit in London's ornate Lancaster House with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and an ensemble of European leaders in attendance at a moment of intense anxiety in the conflict. Leaders are hoping to revive the protest of an acceptable peace deal after President Donald Trump chastised Zelensky in the Oval Office, appalling the West and delighting Moscow in the process. Starmer said that Britain would work with France and possibly one or two others on crafting plans to stop the fighting in Ukraine and then discuss that plan with the United States. The process seems destined to rival the negotiation process that Trump's administration opened with Russia last month and suggests a tacit acceptance that bringing Trump and Zelensky to the negotiating table together could result in tensions combusting once more. For the third week in a row, Pope Francis has been unable to deliver his traditional Angelus prayer in person, with the Vatican publishing his written comments instead. The Vatican said the text, sent from the hospital room in Rome, had been written in the past few days. In it, the Pope thanked people for their prayers and thanked his medical team for their care. In the latest update from the Vatican, Pope Francis was said to be resting after a peaceful night. On Sunday morning, according to the Vatican, the Pope woke, had breakfast with coffee, continued his therapy, and read the news as he usually does. He thanked Catholics around the world that he felt their affection and closeness. A woman has been arrested on suspicion of arson after a 4-year-old girl died in a house fire in Manchester. Greater Manchester Police said the girl was rescued from the property in Gateshead Close but suffered serious injuries. A police spokesperson said, sadly, despite the best efforts of all those involved, the girl died from injuries in the hospital a short time after. A woman aged 44 has been arrested on suspicion of arson with the intent to endanger life. She is known to the child and there is no wider threat to the community, according to the police. A scene remains in place around Gateshead Close as specialist officers continue to investigate the full circumstances. And lastly, a private spacecraft, Blue Ghost, has landed in the moon, becoming only the second commercial vehicle to reach the lunar surface. Blue Ghost left Earth on January 15 after being launched by U.S. firm Firefly Aerospace with the intention of exploring the Sea of Crisis, a huge craft visible from Earth. The project is the latest collaboration by U.S. space agency, NASA, and private companies. Intuitive Machines, another firm, is hoping to land its antenna spacecraft near the moon's south pole in the next few days. Blue Ghost touched down smoothly, having been orbiting the moon for the last 2 weeks. Staff at Firefly's headquarters in Texas broke out into cheering and applause when they were told the landing was successful. And that is it from the international news.
Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website at www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with Thoughts on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Galaxy TV News. You can follow and interact with Thoughts on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments as you can easily scan our IG QR code. And that's all we are for you. We thank you so much for watching. My name is